Right, welcome ladies and gents. So this isn't specifically about Avatar The Way of Water. It's actually about Weta Workshop. But this is the latest in a long line of industry allegations about VFX artists being criminally underpaid, overworked, and facing a very similar challenge to what video game designers face. You know, the crunch, just terrible working conditions. And just genuinely not good, you know. And it's interesting as well because, you know, again, I'm not going to sit here and take aim at Avatar The Way of Water or specifically at James Cameron. But what I will say is James Cameron is someone who is so incredibly vocal about visual effects. You would like to think, just as an just ruminating the idea, you would like to think someone that prides visual effects. I mean, his entire new film series that he's spending billions on, Avatar, you'd think he would look after the staff members, even though obviously it's subcontracted, it's contracted out. But you'd like to think there would be an air of care above and beyond what a normal director and a normal industry professional puts with their VFX, because it is James Cameron. But obviously, that's not the case here. And it'll be interesting to see how this just generally affects the situation with Weta on a whole. But not a surprise. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised by this, to hear any of this stuff. Primarily, because, well, we know that this happens in the VFX industry. But yeah, I mean, this does sound really bad, actually, and I think you guys will be quite shocked by a lot of this stuff. So one VFX artist, Logan Preshaw, who was enlisted by Weta Workshop to contribute to Avatar The Way of Water, has slammed the company for the pay's really bad, disrespectful working conditions and more. However, he's also quick to point out that this is an issue with Weta and not James Cameron or 20th Century Studios. And look, that is the case. I agree. But it is also, you can't on one hand say, well, it's not their issue at all, and then not at least acknowledge that they could have done something. Because they could. They could mandate it in contracts. We're going to subcontract this out to Weta. We mandate that, we're going to be giving you a very hefty bill. We mandate that obviously your VFX artists get a certain amount. Like, they can mandate those things. It can be part of the negotiation table, for sure. I think it's naive to say that couldn't be part of the negotiations. So obviously Marvel Studios has been coming under fire for how it handles its VFX teams, and that's very evident because their VFX is shit. It's awful. It's utterly atrocious. But Weta, they are perhaps best known for working on Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and they're based in New Zealand. Now, other recent projects, they've been working on Dune, Thor, Love and Thunder. But, they have had other issues behind the scenes. But they're not, well, they haven't commented on it. But this is a Twitter thread from Logan Preshaw. And this isn't just some rando, he also shows a contract. It's legit. Now, David F. Sandberg, obviously director, said, "I've seen so much arguing about this shot. I have a feeling this won't stop the arguing, though." And Logan Preshaw quote tweeted this. It says, "I worked on Avatar 2. I'm proud of that. I'm not proud of how little Weta Workshop pays its artists. I think you guys will genuinely be shocked. As a concept artist, I was paid the current minimum wage, a pay cut of $10 an hour from when I was a lead on animated cartoon shows. Many of the practical artists were paid similarly. If you have the money for this prop, you have the money to pay your artists adequately. Weta Workshop is a world-renowned name, and Avatar 2 is a $400+ million, multi-million dollar film. Many of the artists were earning a little over the tour shop staff's pay, well below industry standard. This is what I mean. You can have a mandate from the director and the studio that you pay people the correct wage. You can. It's naive to say otherwise. I worked 10 hours a day for 21 New Zealand dollars an hour. That's not much. It's not much at all. Which comes to just over $13 US an hour. Again, that's really not much. That's really, really bad. Now, 1 hour was deducted for lunch. Don't really get that gripe. That, to be fair, I mean, that's pretty standard. But, okay, fine. When I asked for more pay 8 months in, quoting my previous job's pay and experience, it was raised to $23. 3 months later, I left. Now, $23 is 23 New Zealand dollars, by the way, just to state that. And this is a contract. Dear Logan, in recognition of your hard work and level of experience, we are pleased to offer you a rate increase effective from Monday the 26th of March 2018. Your rate will increase from $21 to $23 per hour. Keep up the great work. And this is, yeah, just from Weta Workshop themselves. That's real bad. To clarify a few things, I wasn't paid $10 an hour. That's the pay cut I took from my previous role as a lead on kids' animated shows. I wasn't the artist I am today. This was 2018. This is solely on Workshop, Weta Workshop, not James Cameron, 20th Century Studios, or the overall production of Avatar 2. I simply reject that. I absolutely reject that you can't have any statement from James Cameron or 20th Century Studios. I reject the entire premise of that statement. Weta Workshop is not a small-time studio. It's a world-renowned company that regularly receives assistance from the New Zealand government to keep blockbuster productions within its shores. Massive tax breaks. And in my time there, they had major contracts for Mulan, MIB, the Men in Black, oh god, that was terrible, World Expo 2020, the Avatar sequels, and more. To those saying, you took the job, Australia doesn't have much of a film industry, and Weta is central to New Zealand's. I took what I could for the rare privilege of working with a world-class team. To justify their rates based on that is gross and enables the devaluing of artists. Workshops had many red flags over the years and chosen to do very little to improve. This is reflected in both my experience and the experiences of artists I know from there. If you're in Australia or New Zealand, seek other opportunities. The prestige of their name is not worth it. And there you have it. I mean, look, this is not a huge surprise because we have heard this before from games. Game companies do this. We've heard it from Marvel projects. I mean, this seems to be an issue with Disney on a whole. I mean, 20th Century Studios is owned by Disney. They were working on Mulan. That's Disney. Avatar is now Disney. There's a lot here that I think falls under the sort of prerequisite of Disney. And I just think ultimately, for someone that loves their VFX and is building an entire franchise around VFX, you'd think that you would mandate for your VFX artists that are working on your product to be paid the correct wage. And I just think it's gross that they haven't been. So let me know what you guys think of this down below. Again, you know, there is an argument to be said for, well, you did take the job, but also still, you can pay properly. I mean, we are the consumers and we're getting crap VFX. Now, I'm not going to say that Avatar, The Way of Water, is going to have crap VFX. That's not the case. But when there's so much across the industry that is giving us crap VFX, something's got to break at a certain point. We can't just keep accepting mediocrity. Anyway, leave your thoughts.